It's another day here at Freeman's garage working on the abandoned 1956 Chevy. We're gonna pull the leaf springs and shackles out of the car, get the old bushings out, which could be a huge pain. We'll see how that goes. Either way, it's gonna be fun. And we'll get brand new bushings back in, and we'll get things cleaned up and painted and looking nice and shiny. We'll put the springs back into the car, and then we can set our refurbished rear axle back in place that we did in a previous video. You can see our bushings are just completely wasted, which would give us poor handling and a squeaky sounding ride. The very first thing that we're going to do is remove our leaf spring bolts from the front. There's just one on each side. Here's our creeper for today. Grab our impact. Let's go down there and take a look. I think the frame's probably kind of packed full of dirt and rocks, you know, gravel road. So let's go take a peek. Oh yeah. There is no shortage of North Dakota gravel road in there. That belongs to some county. Maybe we'll have to return that one day. And I think we're pretty full over there too, which means we're just going to have to cram the socket through it. Uh-oh. Might have just lost the socket in here. Well, this project's starting off on a good note. There we go. I was gonna say, don't even try telling me that you're not a 3/4. So I sprayed all the hardware for our leaf spring bolts today down with penetrating oil days ago. So let's pull that trigger and see what happens. Yippee-ki-yay! It's another day at Freeman's garage. I threw that floor jack under here, by the way, just for a little extra support in case things go very sour. But that nut came off way too easy, but I'll take it. I'm not complaining. Now let's grab a hammer and we'll stick that extension in there and see if we can't pound the bolt out. Ow! You could always just try to spin the bolt out with the impact, but it won't fit in the space here. So that's why we're doing this. Ow! It's the second time I hit my head. Okay, the first time I hit my head, I got amnesia, and I started giving my entire portfolio away. I gave the Duke family the deed to their farm, and now that I've just hit my head for the second time, now I remember who I am. And I'm going to take it all back now at the end of the episode. You know, I could also just grab a punch instead of risking damaging my extension, but let's grab a wrench and try to turn this bolt out because I would like to reuse our bolts if we can, so I kind of don't want to hammer on that end anymore. I happen to have a 3/4 inch wrench laying right there. Jiminy Christmas. 1/2 inch ratchet, this cheater pipe, and my broken 1/2 inch drive extension that I found in the back of a Suburban that I bought 20 years ago just to get the 454 out of it. Which I regret that because that Suburban it was sweet. But you know, at that point in time, well, not only I don't think anybody called them square bodies, not that I'm aware of. I didn't hear that term for the 73 to 87, you know, Chevy pickups and Suburbans and whatnot until the cars, you know, the whole internet thing became a big thing. But yeah, at that time, that Suburban, the transmission went out on it, and so it wasn't really worth much of anything to anybody. And I paid a couple $100 for it. It was really nice, but it was almost something that even somebody like me might have crushed at that time, which is kind of crazy to think. With the short socket, I was just barely able to get it up on here at a bit of a risky angle, risking stripping the head of the bolt out, but I was able to get the bolt spinning back and forth, get a little bit of lubrications in there, and yeah, now I'm going to keep doing that with the impact at an angle like this, because obviously, you know, there's not enough room in here. And I'm going to put a pry bar in here on the end of the bolt and kind of try to push as we spin. You know, the classic push spin method. And it's working! Proof of concept, my friends. Gosh darn light. There we go. I should get, guys should probably get a whole bunch of magnetic lights. That'd probably make things easier. I keep hitting myself. Alright, step one is done, and that bolt on this side, at the front of the leaf spring here, on the passenger side, it's going to be the exact same thing. And since I'm in the mood, I'm in the groove, and we're in the flow state, I'm just going to slide on over here to this side and knock that one out twice as fast as I did that one. When you got the momentum, you just got to roll with it. It's just being a little wingding. You can see how we have all that movement. Okay. The eye of the leaf spring and the blown out bushing, they are sliding back and forth on the bolt. So that tells me that we're not going to have to do anything crazy to get this out. We just got to just work with it a little bit more, and she'll come out here in a jiff. I think our bolt must be seized to the steel sleeve. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I've been lubing it, I've been impacting it, and I've been prying it, and finally got it to come out a little bit. So I'm just gonna keep at it. Well, either it came out a little bit or I'm bending everything and everything's going wrong. But positive vibes, positive vibes. It's been about another 10 or 15 minutes. And it's almost out. It's just been fighting me real good here. I mean, this bolt has a ticket to ride, but I don't care. Almost out. Finally, let me move my limbs and light sources out of the way. You know, just not enough room. All right, let's get this bolt out. Let this leaf spring drop. What could I possibly do to convince you to just get the HE double hockey sticks out of here? I'm just risking stripping this bolt out, which I don't want to do. Okay, I made it this time. Oh, my bones. Oh, what a disaster. There's your answer. Well, if that isn't a perfect example of how things tend to go quite often when you're working on cars, I thought we'd be painting by now, and all we've gotten done is we removed 2 bolts. That's it. That's it. All right, now it's time to get the shackles unbolted, and let's just stay hanging out over here on the passenger side since we're here, and I just hit my head on the trunk lid. So there's a nut here. And then there's one down here we gotta get. I believe those are 5/8. Here's a view from down below. So it's those 2 nuts, that upper one and that lower one. That's our shackle assembly. When that's all unbolted, that will allow us to completely remove the leaf spring from the car so that we can inspect it for cracked leaves, clean it up and paint it. And as soon as we get this passenger side out and we hop over to the driver's side, there's something really cool I want to show you. It's trust me, it's interesting. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And I want your opinion on it too. We'll get to that in a second. What would happen if we just put a 5/8 wrench on here and give her a crank? Let's see what happens. Came loose. It could be from the penetrating oil that we put on here a couple days ago. Let's try the bottom bolt, or nut, I'm sorry. Oh, you know what, I feel like I'm going to slice my wrist right open on this sharp metal edge. That's not smart. I'm going to go down below and do it. Come off. All right. Let's see what happens. cheater bar. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work. Need a wrench. I'll go back to the top nut here and get it off all the way, and then we'll use the impact on the bottom nut. I think a little bit extra lubrication won't hurt. Now we'll pop this plate off, and then the whole leaf spring will be able to slide off, because this is a stud that's going through here. It's not a standalone bolt like we had up at the front. Ah, the joys of pre-lubing your project. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to hit you. Okay, I'm gonna go pull the other end of the spring out again to keep walking it out. You know, this has probably never been taken apart. So, you know, this stuff was bolted together the year Elvis Presley hit the charts, and it hasn't been touched since. And that'll come out just like that. All right, now that all that's out, I'll show you what all the buzz is about on the driver's side. Now you go ahead and leave your opinion and your thoughts in the comments, and tell me what you think. But I think this is really cool. So there's a piece of baling wire here, and then there's a piece of galvanized pipe. There's a piece of threaded pipe. It's fallen out of place, but you can tell it used to be positioned behind the shackle. Alright, here's a much better look at it. I'm reaching in here blind, because I actually can't see up here. I'm looking in the viewfinder of the camera. But, so you can see there's the baling wire, and then there's the pipe, and it's squished a bit, like it's had some weight on it, right? And so if we were to jack the car up from the frame so that the suspension droops, you would be able to slide this up in here and then set the car back down, and the weight would hold it in here. Now obviously if you jumped a set of train tracks, this would fall out, but that's why the baling wire's there. Now it seems pretty obvious to me that what they were doing is they were raising the back of the car. They were jacking the back of the car up a little bit. Remember, the previous owner of this car was hot rodding it in the 70s when he was in high school. I think he graduated in 74. So if you wanted to jack the back of your car up, right, and get that stance, but you're a high school kid and you might not have the cash for leaf springs or, whatever you got to do it, in what you would think is a proper way to do it, whatever that would be for you. Well, you could just stick some pipe in there and you got your little lift. Stuff like this I get a huge kick out of. I just absolutely love it. I just love seeing things like this and thinking about things like this. This is something that somebody did at some point with this car, and they had a thought process when they did what they did. They were thinking something, and this is what their brain came up with. I love that. I absolutely love it. Of course, there would have been one on the passenger side as well. Who knows? Who knows where that is? It could have fallen off on the trailer when I hauled this car across the country. But this is a wall hanger for sure. Or a paperweight, but that's enough dilly-dally. Let's finish getting this driver's side out. Look at how cleanly this thing is coming apart. Pretty gosh darn rust-free in a lot of areas on this car. Especially for, how a 50s car goes, and the North Dakota car at that. Now we're going to get all the old bushings out and inspect for cracks and whatnot. I don't think there's going to be anything, but we'll look just to make sure. And then we can clean everything up, paint it, and then do the reassembly. The bushings that are in the rear spring eyes, they do not have a metal sleeve. And the same goes for our bushings in here in our spring hanger. So those are easy. Those should be easy to get out for each side. But it is the spring eye on the front of the springs. Let me turn to give you some better light. That is going to take you see there's the metal sleeve in there and whatnot. So it's, whole different animal, whole different situation. So these are going to be the type of thing that we're either going to be able to press them out in a jiff. It will be a jiff of a process. Or it's going to be 3 hours of just a complete nightmare. But we'll never know until we do it, so let's do it. Alright, that was way too easy, but that's a good thing. We'll take it. And the bushings, they don't seem that bad. Oh, they're a little hard. They're not as bad as they're not in as bad of shape as I thought they were in, but we'll compare them to the Dan Chuck bushings that we have, our brand new ones, and we'll do a little suppleness comparison. Alright, the bushings with the steel sleeves in the front spring eye of the springs. This is the one that's going to determine if this is going to take forever or if things are going to continue to go smooth. And I hope I'm able to pry this out because the floor press is kind of it's not accessible right now. So hopefully we can just get this out like this, or I guess we could use a ball joint or U-joint press on the floor here. Ooh, this is going to come out. Well, we do have an outer sleeve as well too, don't we? Yeah, that's okay. Well, let's just press this thing out. I'll get the press. Oh, great. No! I'm breaking things. Oh, you know, I don't know how I do it. God, how did I even do that? 375, 377, 399. Yeah, that wasn't working, so I have commissioned the help of the floor press. I dug it out from where it was buried in the corner. It took a while, but I think it's the only thing we can do. Or it's the right thing to do, is what I should say. Now I need to remember to put on my to-do list to put this press on casters, because that would have made it a lot easier moving it. Oh, I'm going to put glasses of safety on, just in case. Now, something's happening here, and what it is ain't quite clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. Aha! Alright. You know what I think that is? I think that's actually this piece here binding on this, on the frame. The whole thing kind of twists. I think that's what it is. Oh, actually, I think it's the sleeve we're pressing out, skipping across the press plate. Oh, that's a pro job all the way. And that's why a press helps out tremendously. Alright, we're going for the full Monty on this one. This is the internal organ protector. But you know what, actually I think we're being kind of stupid. I don't think rushing it's going to do any good. I'm going to get the inner sleeve out first so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Believe me, I want to do it just in one shot, but this won't take very long to get the inner sleeve out first, so we'll just do this. I've made the decision, so that's what we're doing. Alright, that's out. So now, to do the outer sleeve. Let's do the outer sleeve, Steve. If you know what I mean, Gene. Don't be coy, Roy. I don't think we're sitting on here quite right. We need to make a new plan, Stan. We'll get on the bus, Gus. Alright, let's see here. What if we went... Oh, maybe we were on just right. It's just being stubborn. Oh yeah. We're in the right, we got it set just right. Is it moving? Oh yeah, it is moving. Alright, that's good. It's good because I was getting a little concerned. Boy, that sure is pretty tough though. A little bit of lubage. Can't do nothing but help. Right? Well, that's what we'll tell ourselves. Well, we're gonna let this up and look at it because something just didn't feel right. I would hate to be on the receiving end of something flying out of here. Well, this is great. My worst nightmare. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe it's not my worst nightmare. I was gonna say that we were pressing the socket inside the sleeve, but that's not what's going on here. No, we're doing a good job. We're right on track. We've come out maybe a 1/16 of an inch. I think it's just a stubborn one. Where's that liquid wrench? I think it moved. Isn't that wild? Tell me how it must have, when it broke free, somehow all this came apart. That pin came all the way out. It's kind of weird. But it moved significantly. So I guess let's put it back together and get it out the rest of the way. In a world of circumstances, there are no second chances. But I guess we got one just now. Because nothing went through our midsection. We got another go around. Gosh, what's it gonna do this time? I think this press binds up. I think is what's going on here. Alright, this ought to do it. Boy, that's really in there. Wow. It's sitting in here more secured now, but the sleeve's just not wanting to come out. I'm paranoid of something on this press shattering and flying about in the garage like shrapnel. So I'm going to take the spring out of the press, and then we're going to beat on the end that's already come out a little bit and see if we can't get some lube past that after we smash it down. Or I know, we gotta get, we can't keep doing this because this isn't gonna work. But then again, it is one of these things where, you know, if we just got a long rod for some leverage and really cranked on this thing a little bit more, that might be what it needs to pop out. But at the same time, if, you know, look at this here, this is cast right here on the bottle jack. Some of this stuff is cast pieces. If that stuff shatters, I don't know, it might go right through a guy, you know? You know, this stuff's always so easy and simple in your head. And then when things start to kind of get off track a little bit, next thing you know, you're laying in a giant mess. Alright, I just hammered and chiseled the snot out of this thing and got some liquid wrench down in there. Let's see what happens. Alright, I'm officially sick and tired of this, so I'm going to take this out again, and I'm just going to smash the crapazoids out of it, and I'll let you know when it's out. Surprise, surprise, it's a few days later, and I'm on the other side of the country with different hair, and that sleeve in my garage, inside Freeman's garage back in Texas, is, well, it's still in the leaf spring. I fought with it and ran out of time. I literally went up to the last minute I had before I had to leave town. I jumped on an opportunity to be able to come back home to North Dakota, where I am right now, up by the Canadian border. And I'm with family, and I'm also filming a bunch of awesome videos with a bunch of awesome cars that I have up here at the North Dakota location. Some of the vehicles you've seen, some you haven't. But when I get back to Texas soon, I'm going crazy on that 56, as well as the Rambler and other projects, etc. But here's the thing about going crazy on the 56 when I get back. I've got a motor for that car, for the 56 Chevy, sitting in the back of my truck right over here. And it's going back to Texas with me, and we're putting it in that car.